We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin. And today, faithful acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is from Karma Sauce, it is the Funken Hot, which later was used as a platform to become a different sauce, which we will get into. Oh boy, will we get into that later. So they're trying to go here for a epic flavor jam, which I think is kind of a clever idea, because sweet fruit jam, right? Sweet chili jam, like an actual jelly, or a jam musically. It kind of works nicely either way. So very, very thick, very sludgy sauce. Sticks very well to things, of course. Alright, so in the ingredients we have a 7-pot brown and chocolate habaneros. So the chocolate habaneros and the red savinas are probably the two variations of the habaneros I actually find pretty enjoyable. Apple cider vinegar, which thankfully doesn't show up. Organic sugar, fresh lime juice, salt, garlic, spices. See little bits and pieces in there. Probably garlic there. Some bits of pepper here. I don't know what the other spices are. I'm sure they're just general round out the flavor type things. Alright, let's have a look-see here. See, very thick, very sludgy, very chunky. It does have a sort of a jam-like appearance to it. Settles out with a little bit of work here, but here's the coloration. Definitely you can see the strong influence of the brown peppers that are making this up. A touch mole-ish, I would say, in terms of appearance, but it looks a lot, kind of like a brownish, I guess, pepper jam. And now they got that stuck in my head, which I'm sure is probably intentional. Very, very lovely sauce. So I like this. I like the appearances quite a lot. It's very pretty sauce. Even though I'm not big into, sort of the brown earth tones, I think this visually is it's a pretty nice looking sauce, because it does hew towards just a touch of the red and orange there. Let's get into the flavor. Right away we get the pepper notes. Actually, we get sugar. Almost a jelly pepper sort of notes in there. Definitely a bit of bitterness from the super hots, I believe. I'm not really getting any of the lime and stuff, but it's kind of like there's definitely a lot of sugar in this, which works really well with those peppers. Very, very good tasting sauce. And of course, so this one was developed into this. Scorpion Disco, there's a video on this as well. It says Funken Hot right on the label. So they took and basically looks like added Scorpion and Ghost to this to make a sauce that would be able to be exclusively sold on the Heatness website. And I don't know if they've ever had a sauce that's been commercially available prior to being on the show. I think most of the several last few seasons anyway have been sauces that were developed for the show, and they had the exclusivity and then became available generally. So let's, I'm going to have a little bit of side by side just to kind of compare these two. Definitely, this one is a lot more red in tone. With the Scorpions, this is way more forward in terms of super hots. But which one, this is a really good sauce, but which one's better? That's a tough question. Certainly this is the hotter of the two. But I'm on a sort of anti-Scorpion kick these days, so for me, I prefer this one. Definitely, you got a lot more richness coming through in this one. But they took a really good sauce. I wish they wouldn't have used Scorpions in it, in this. But they took a really good sauce, and they just made it hotter, which is somewhat of a trick, especially trying to get Scorpions to taste good at all in a sauce. So I was going to do a side-by-side, but it's pretty obvious to me that this is the better of the two, in my opinion. Certainly my preference is with this one. Certainly not the heat level of that, but we have 7 pots and habaneros. Both of those are building peppers. So we're going to see what kind of build we can get out of those. Man, this is good. I almost wish there was like some berry notes in there. That would have been really good. That might get more into actual jam territory though, as opposed to hot sauce. Karma's one of those, they're one of those companies that just have a little bit of a challenge getting my finger on. The founder gave up space science for the hot sauce, but you can see that a lot in a lot of references, right? Cosmic disco and cosmic this and cosmic dumpling. A number of their sauces I think I find a little more interesting than good. This one's definitely starting to get a little bit punchy. Nothing too crazy though. I think this one is right on that line between chili head only and not. And I think it's probably over. I wish it was sweeter because I could use it then as a grilling sauce. And not enough sweetness in it though. It's really solid. I like it a lot. This sauce is definitely preferable to this one, but Scorpion Disco is a really good solid sauce as well. Surprisingly, for me. Given how little I like scorpion peppers these days. Yeah, I mean, getting a respectable burn out of this. It probably is beyond what normies are going to want. So, we'll put it in chili head only territory. Really good though, really phenomenal sauce. The sweet and those peppers work together really well. I'm not getting a lot of the other flavors. I'm not getting a lot of the vinegar. I'm not getting a lot of lime juice and salt and garlic. Little suggestions here and there. Mostly it's peppers and sugar. And the peppers and sugar together is an excellent combination here. A touch over on the bittery side with the super hots, in my view. But very enjoyable nonetheless. Taking an already good sauce and then just trying to make it hotter, it's a lot easier said than done. To have the same quality of flavor when you're using stuff like scorpions, I think it's a pretty good trick. That's the easiest thing in the world to say is, hey, that's a really good sauce, now just make it hotter. Inevitably, you start changing the flavor profile when you do that. And sometimes results can be a lot less than desirable. And for these guys to be able to do that as successfully as they did with that Scorpion Disco is like just a brilliant job. And they've done that. They did that actually with the Jugo Piña hot sauce, which is also something I reviewed. It was okay. And then they did the Jugo Diablo, which was almost night and day different, but it was a lot more magical. It was just way, way better. So I kind of like Karma, I think, does that here and there. They take their sauces and they do these spins on them, which I think is kind of a cool thing. And those two were different. These two are different as well. Definitely, I think this one is the better one, but there's a lot of similarities with the sort of sweet with the very intensely hot peppers. So, yeah, Funken Hot, definitely an excellent one. And if you're unsure as to whether or not you're going to be able to handle a Scorpion Disco, you can start with this one. And this one I think is a good litmus test. That other one is definitely notably hotter. But this one is, I think, like I said, it's right on the border. It's not, I wouldn't say it's super accessible, but it is fairly accessible in terms of who might like it. But definitely this has got enough of a punch to it that you'll be able to tell where you kind of fall on the chili head scale if you're unfamiliar. But that's going to do it for this one. The Karma, the very excellent Karma Funken Hot sauce. Now go forward in peace to serve the flame.